Hey, my name is King. On this episode of the Otaku Experience, we're going to talk about my top 10 most anticipated shows of the upcoming 2024 anime season. And then also we have some rankings of some of the most popular shows. We have predictions about Frieren may surpass Demon Slayer in popularity in the next 5 years. Crazy things happening there. And then, of course, we'll get into the audience rankings and things like that. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Otaku Experience, the anime non-news show where we talk about the current goings-on in the anime and the manga industry with our very uneducated opinions. I am, of course, your host, Israel. Guys, Happy New Year. Welcome to year 2, or as I'm going to call it, season 2 of the Otaku Experience. We've been doing this for a year now. We did 45 episodes in 2023, and I'm looking forward to having a good 2024. I'm very, very excited. I will say this. I was supposed to do a show on Sunday, but as you guys know, something personal came up. Everything's okay. I mean, in the moment it wasn't, but everything's okay now. Got it all taken care of. And so we're back now. So this is actually the top 10 anticipated list was supposed to be the finale of last year's run. But since we didn't do that, now it's the premiere of this year's run. So that's going to be fun there. But anyways, hope you guys had a good holiday season and a happy new year. New year, new resolutions, things like that. I'm very excited. I'm feeling really good about this year. I've kind of been putting some things in place. I think this is going to be a really good year, at least for me. And so I'm very excited for that reason. I think it's going to be a decent year for anime. So with that being said, we're going to get right into the main part of the show. And guys, it's official. The 2023 anime season is officially over. I think the last of the fall shows ended last week. And the winter shows, I think, start this week. I think Solo Leveling starts like on Saturday or something like that. So obviously we have to talk about what shows I'm most excited for this year. These are my top 10 and some honorable mentions, most anticipated shows, anime of 2024. Now, I am going to put some disclaimers. There are going to be some big shows that you guys know about that for you might be on the list, might be at the top of the list, and that I might not mention them. The reason why is if I'm not caught up on a show, or if it's an anime original and I don't know too much about it, or I don't feel like I have a reason to be too excited about it, it's not on this list. So things that I'm not fully caught up on, or things that I don't know too much about. I'm not saying that they won't be great. I'm just saying these, based on my own biases, based on the shows that I've seen, based on the shows I'm caught up on, based on my knowledge of what these shows are going to be, these are the shows I'm most interested in seeing this year and hoping that they're good. But starting off with the honorable mentions. Oh, also, the honorable mentions are in release order, and then we'll get to 10 through 1, which are my most anticipated in that order. So, starting out with our honorable mentions. All right, so we have the Suicide Squad Isekai. So the Suicide Squad Isekai, I'm still interested, even though when I did the trailer breakdown and I talked about that, I thought it looked bad. Okay, I'll be honest, I thought it looked pretty bad. That's just because I can't stand the Isekai bullcrap. I just wish, like, why can't we just have a Suicide Squad anime? Like, that'd be so cool. But no, they have to be isekai'd somewhere. But this is still coming to us from WIT. It's still covering characters that I love because I am a fan of the DC Comics characters, so I'm excited to see that. And overall, I think this could still be fun, even though I'm not as excited as I once was, which is why it's not on the list. I think before that trailer, and especially if this wasn't an isekai, this would be, top 10, maybe even top 5. Like, I'd be so excited just to see what they do. But knowing where the direction that they're going, I'm still interested, but I'm cautious because I don't know how good it's going to be. Getting into the next honorable mention, we have The Dangers in My Heart Season 2. I enjoyed the first season of The Dangers in My Heart, and I thought it was a pretty fun show. It's just not, there were a bunch of other shows that I'm more hyped for than this, which is why it's down here, even though I'm still pretty excited to watch this. I think that the relationship I thought was pretty cute. I didn't think they went as far as they could. I think that they played it really, really safe, but I know it's a source material thing. They're just adapting what story exists. And so I'm hoping that in this next season, we get to understand more about the characters and see that relationship develop more, which based on the trailers, it seems like that's probably what's going to happen. And so I'm excited to see that. Then we have the next honorable mention, which is Blue Lock Season 2. We actually haven't gotten much about this show other than we know that it's coming out. I don't know if this is a season 2 or if they're calling this core 2 or part 2, whatever. All I know was announced when the first season ended, along with the, is it Nagi? What's the character movie that they're doing with Blue Lock that's coming out this year? But I know they're doing that, and I know that this is also in production, and this is supposed to be eyeing some release. I don't think this is coming out anytime soon, like in spring or summer. But I think this is probably a fall show. If I had to guess, I think that that's probably when this is coming out. I thought the first season was a lot of fun, just so intense. It was just so crazy. I was just like, why is everybody so stressed out about this soccer game? I was like, why are the stakes so high? But it was great. I love it. Typical anime shonen angst. It's the best. It's so good. Everybody's so serious and dramatic. I love it. It's the best. It's give me more. So very excited to see Blue Lock Season 2, Core 2. Whatever they decide to call this thing. Then the next honorable mention we have is the reboot of Spice and Wolf, or I guess the remake of it, since they're remaking it from the same source material. I haven't seen the original source material, but when I looked into this, and just seeing the fan base behind it, like the excitement just kind of rubbed off onto me, and I was like, I'm interested in seeing this show now. And so even though I don't really know the plot or anything like that, I'm excited to see just what everybody's raving about. And based on the stuff I've seen about the type of stuff it deals with, not necessarily the plot, but the tone that it goes for and things like that. This does seem like a show that's going to be up my alley. So I'm excited to see that, but I don't have any pre-existing knowledge of the source material or of the original anime adaptation. I'm purely excited for this just because of the excitement from other people rubbing off onto me. And then we have the last of the honorable mentions here, which is probably on a lot of your on your top fives, probably top 3, and that is One Punch Man Season 3. This is coming to us from MAPPA. Now, the reason why this isn't in my top 10 is because of One Punch Man Season 2. One Punch Man Season 2 there's a step down. That's all we'll say. But I'm excited to see how MAPPA handles it, but also just there's kind of this stink on MAPPA where I worry. We saw this with Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 where some of the episodes looked unfinished. And you could tell that not like bad, like it was a bad episode, but you could tell it's not the typical MAPPA polish that we're used to. And they're going into the Culling Games arc. They're doing the Chainsaw Man movie. They've been in production on this. They're doing their original shows. MAPPA's doing so much that I worry about the show. That's all I'll say. That's the reason why it's not in the top 10, just because there's still a bit of worry, but still a One Punch Man fan, still love it. So definitely excited to see how they handle it. But I'm a little nervous. But now getting into the top 10 most anticipated show, and these are in order of how excited I am for these shows. At number 10, we have Jujutsu Kaisen Culling Games arc. This is not an official visual for the show. This is a manga panel, a manga visual of this arc. And so we're just using that because we don't have an actual visual. We got a little teaser that came out with the finale of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. And we got to see how that's going to pan out. And even though, the MAPPA problems and things like that, I thought Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was definitely a step up from Season 1. Not as good as the movie Jujutsu Kaisen 0, but Yuta, I think that's his name. Is it Yuta? The main character of the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie is now he's like going to be in there. And I hear that there's like, it seems like there's going to be like this antagonistic relationship between him and Itadori. And so that could be really, really fun to see. So I'm excited to see how that goes about. Once again, the reason why this isn't any higher, number one, I've never been the biggest Jujutsu Kaisen fan. I think the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 and season 2 have been a lot better than season 1. Like, I don't remember a thing about season 1. But Jujutsu Kaisen 0 and season 2 were pretty solid. But I've never been the biggest fan of the franchise altogether. But at the same time, like with One Punch Man, it's the MAPPA controversy. So One Punch Man, the thing that keeps it from being in the top 10 is season 2. I just worry about how the story goes. I haven't read the manga. I don't know if it gets better. And I don't know how much of that was an anime adaptation thing versus a source material thing. And so I don't know. But I know that Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 I enjoyed more than season 1. And so to me, Jujutsu Kaisen has been getting better, whereas One Punch Man's been getting worse. That's the main reason. But they're both dealing with that problem of the of what's going on behind the scenes, the controversy, the awful ways that they've been managing everything with the animators and all the production and things like that. But you guys know how I feel about that. We've gone into that at detail. And so at number 10, Jujutsu Kaisen Culling Games arc. They say it's coming out this year. I guess we will find out. But I don't think this would come out anytime before like fall, unless they want to kill their animators, which I wouldn't be surprised. But at number 9, we have Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, The Conflict. This is still in my top 10 because I'm still a big Bleach fan. I'm not the biggest fan. Like, I couldn't name you all the characters and all the names of the arcs, but I have a good time. I think it's a fun. It's like the granddaddy of shonen, and so I have a fun time watching it. I really enjoy the characters. I love the world that they've been doing. And I think that this season, Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, has been the best season so far. I thought that the Separation, which was part 2 of Bleach 1000-Year Blood War that came out in summer of 2023, I thought that was worse than the first part of Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, which came out in fall 2022. So it was a little bit of a step down. If it was as good or even better, this would have been much higher on the list. But because of that, it's not that I'm worried that I'm not going to like it. But, it went from, this is the best Bleach has ever been to, it's a decent season. And so if this is going to be more of the same about here at level 9, I'm keeping my excitement kind of reserved a little bit just because I don't want to get so hyped. But I know that, we're in that period. I know that the Separation part had to happen because that's the part of that happens in the source material. And also, just in storytelling, formula, that's kind of how those stories work. I think it was just because of how drawn out the section was. It was like 12 weeks of this section of the story. And I think that if it was much smaller, I wouldn't have minded as much. But when it's 12 episodes of this part of the story, it got a little irritating by the time I got to the end of the Separation. And so at the Conflict now, we're at part 3 of 4. So I'm excited to see us start ramping back up to that big finale that we'll have in part 4. So I have hope. I have hope that this is going to be just as good as the first part of Bleach 1000-Year Blood War and continue to keep this as the best Bleach has ever been. But moving on to number 8, my 8th most anticipated show. I can't believe this is at number 8. I can't believe this is up here. Because if you asked me back in 2021, I would never have said that this would be up here. But ReZero Season 3. Now, if you guys know me and you follow my channel, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of ReZero Season 2. I really enjoyed Season 1. I thought that was some pretty fun isekai with some fun, time travel hijinks. I thought that the second season, part 1, was pretty solid. And I thought that the second season, part 2, was very drawn out. I won't say that it was boring. I just think that it was I think that it was self-indulgent. And I talk about it more in my seasonal review of Winter 2021, if you guys want to hear my thoughts on that. But I felt that they were beating me over the head with the message they were going for or what they were trying to do with these characters. And I felt that when ReZero is more subtle in how it goes about the things, that's when it resonates more with me personally. But I know a lot of people love season 2, and they think, I've heard people say that season 2 of ReZero is the greatest anime season of all time. So, you know, obviously I'm in the minority on that. But going into going into season 3, I have a friend who knows and reads ReZero, and he says that, you know, that was kind of the worst arc was what season 2 was covering, and it kind of goes up from there, but maybe that was just his opinion. So that kind of has given me a little bit of hope, and it's also been some time separated. You know, this 2024, the last season came out in 2021. It's been 3 years, a little bit of separation. If this had come out in 2022, I probably would have been less excited for it, but we've had some time. I'm excited to see Subaru and the gang again, and I'm excited to see Ram in particular. Ram is best girl, but I'm excited to see how that goes out, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes, because I don't read the source material. I'm mainly an anime guy, and I'll read the source material if the anime interests me enough to go read that, or if there's no anime adapting it. But for shows that are currently airing, I usually just watch the show, because I like to see the show in the show format. So yeah, I don't know what happens, but hopefully it hits me a lot more like season 1 did, because I really enjoyed that season. Then at number 7, another show that I probably, I don't know why it's this high on the list, but it's the Demon Slayer Hashira training arc. Okay, listen, I can't help it. All right. I think I still have that hope that Demon Slayer will once again become what the heights it hit at season 2. I don't know what I just said. That was not grammatically correct at all. But I'm hoping that, you know, I thought season 2 was a little bit of a step down, or season 3 was a little bit of a step down. Quite a bit of a step down. I think it's the worst season the show's been. The way they handled the movie, I did not like the Swordsmith Village movie. I thought Mugen Train was okay, but it felt like I was just watching 4 episodes back to back, or, you know, I guess it would be like 5 or 6 episodes back to back. The first season I thought was decent, and then I loved the second season. So other than that, Demon Slayer has kind of just been an okay to a mixed bag for me. And so I don't know why this is this high on the list. They're handling this the same way they handled the previous movie. They're debuting this in theaters with the last few episodes of season 3, and then they're going to do the premiere of season 4. And it's like the worst decision I've ever heard in my entire life. Come on, UFO table. But I don't know. I'm just hoping. I saw what Demon Slayer could be in season 2, and I just want more of that. Also, Shinobu's back. Best girl. So excited to see her. And, you know, now that we know, especially the revelations that happen after season 3, especially with Nezuko and what's the villain's name? Muzan. You know, some of that I was like, ooh, that's really interesting. And I want to see where that goes. Tanjiro's getting more powerful. We're starting to see more of the upper class demons. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm just scared. That just seems to be the case with a lot of these. Like, I'm excited to see what happens, but I'm scared. The state of anime. Man, this is going to be like one of those years, eh? Then at number 6, we have Oshinoko season 2. Oshinoko season 1, I came out really enjoying. I thought the premiere, you know, when it started, I thought it was just okay. But then as the show progressed, I found myself being more attached to the characters and being more invested in the plot that was going on. And now I'm excited to see where season 2 goes. Knowing where the manga goes, I don't know if I'm excited to see past season 2, but I'm still excited to see where the show goes immediately after season 1, because I really do enjoy these characters in this world. Yeah. Once again, there's dread, but this time it's from the source material. If you know, you know. All right, then at number 5 is My Hero Academia season 7. Now, what, Israel, the most mainstream anime of all times in your list? Come on, Israel, the fake anime fan. Okay, listen. Season 6 of My Hero Academia, fantastic. I don't care what any of y'all have to say. Near peak shonen, okay? I really like the tournament arcs that My Hero Academia does. There's only been one season of My Hero Academia that I thought was straight up bad, and that was season 4. And then I thought season 5 and season 6 have season 5 slowly moved us back up, and then season 6 took us like up here. So I'm hoping that season 7 continues that. I hear that the show just continually gets darker and more serious as it nears the end, which I think that we're in. I think that they said that they wanted My Hero Academia to run for 10 years. And after season 7, we would have 8, 9, 10. That would be, 3 more seasons after this. And so we definitely are nearing that finale. We're definitely in like the third act chunk, or at least really close to the third act chunk of the overall My Hero Academia story. And I'm excited to see where it goes, just based on how season 6 was. Season 6 was so serious and dark. It was crazy. And so I'm excited to see it. Kill me, whatever, it's fine. Going to number 4. This is one that I definitely did not anticipate to have on my list, but what can I say? I'm desperate. Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online Season 2. Okay, look, I have never been able to watch the first season of Gun Gale Online because it just felt weird to me. So I never finished it. But I'm so desperate for Sword Art Online content. It's been forever. What was it, 2020? That Sword Art Online War of the Underworld came out? Yeah. I mean, we've had the progressive movies, but that's been covering stuff we've already seen. I want to see new stuff. And so, the progressive movies have kind of staved off the boredom of waiting, but now we're finally getting something new. I'm excited to see it. And I think that outside of Alicization, I think that this is considered to be, and maybe the first progressive movie, I think this is considered to be the best that Sword Art Online has been, at least in the anime form, is Gun Gale Online. The Gun Gale Online show, not season 2. I think season 2 is the worst that Sword Art Online has been rated. And so that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how season 2 of this show goes about. I'm just desperate for Sword Art Online, man. I just need this content. I just need to be in the world. I don't care if I like it or dislike it. I just need to watch it. I'm so desperate. It's my favorite anime, and it's just nothing's been happening with it. It's ridiculous. But getting into the top 3 of my most anticipated shows of 2024, we have Dan to Dan. Okay, listen. The more I read Dan to Dan, because I've been reading the manga, and the more I find out about Dan to Dan and the excitement that there is, the more I'm like, I cannot wait for this show. This show is going to be so much fun, and I cannot wait for it. I think this airs in spring. I'm so excited. Cannot wait. Cannot get here soon enough. I don't know what else to say. This is one of those shows, like 3 through 1. These are just shows I'm like just straight up hyped for. Well, I guess, yeah, 5 through 1. My Hero Academia, I was genuinely hyped for. Sword Art Online Alternative, I'm hyped for purely out of needing more Sword Art Online. And then these top 3 is just like pure unadulterated. I need this show to start right now. And that's Dan to Dan. So excited for it. That's all I have to say. Moving on. This is a show that after season 1 ended, I would have been like, what? How could this possibly be in my top 10? How could this be in my top 2 most anticipated shows of 2024? But they did it, man. They got me with season 2, part 1, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Season 2, part 2, or core 2, depending on how you talk about it, is coming out in spring 2024. And I cannot freaking wait. Season 2 was fantastic, even though I thought season 1 was middies. And so, man, yeah, it's nice to be able to root for Rudius for a change. We weren't able to in season 1 at all, and now we can. Now he's like a good person, so that's okay. But yeah, I'm surprised, but I am just very excited to see where the show goes. They gave me a nice, sweet romance arc. They knew how to bring me in. And now we'll see where it goes from here. I don't know where it goes. And so we'll see what happens. But Mushoku Tensei, congratulations. You're number 2 on my most anticipated list. And number 1, you guys might yell at me because I might have cheated a little bit here. Frieren Core 2, baby. But Israel, isn't this a fall anime? Yeah, it is, baby. But you know what? It's a second core. They took a little bit of a week hiatus, and now we're back. So they took a break. This is a 2024 anime. What are you talking about? I know this is still considered a 2023 anime, but what can I say? Frieren is my anime of the year of 2023. And so I'd be completely messed up to not call this my most anticipated show of 2024. If you take this out, I guess you can bump One Punch Man into the top 10 and then move everything up a spot. And then Mushoku Tensei, I guess, is my most anticipated show, but that's also a part 2. I guess my most anticipated new show that has had no previous season is Dan to Dan. But Frieren. I'm very excited to see it, and yeah, I love it. Can't wait for it to come back. I think it starts back up tomorrow. Anyways, so those guys are my top 10 most anticipated shows of 2024. I'll go through them one more time. So the honorable mentions in release order are Suicide Squad Isekai, The Dangers in My Heart Season 2, Blue Lock Season 2, Spice and Wolf 2024, One Punch Man Season 3, and then from 10 through 1, least anticipated to most anticipated is Jujutsu Kaisen Colon Games, Bleach As in Your Blood War The Conflict, ReZero Season 3, Demon Slayer Hashira Training Arc, Oshinoko Season 2, My Hero Academia Season 7, Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online Season 2, Dan to Dan, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 Part 2, and Frieren Beyond Journey's End Core 2. Those are my most anticipated shows of the 2024 anime season. What are you guys most excited for? What do you think of MyAnimeList? Are you upset that I cheated a little bit with Frieren in there? Suck it, it's my show. But anyways, guys, with that being said, what are your most anticipated shows? So this past year, we had a lot of big shows. A couple that come to mind are, of course, Demon Slayer and Frieren Beyond Journey's End. And as it turns out, the current editor-in-chief of Weekly Shonen Sunday thinks that Frieren will be more popular than Demon Slayer within the next 5 years. Take a look at this. So this comes to us from CBR, where they say, the editor-in-chief of Shonen Jump competitor Weekly Shonen Sunday believes that Frieren will surpass Demon Slayer in popularity within 5 years. The current editor-in-chief, we just read that. According to an interview with veteran manga editors, former rivals Kazuhiko Torishima of Weekly Shonen Jump and Katsuya Shirai of Weekly Shonen Sunday, Shirai stated that the current editor, Oshima, recently claimed to him that Frieren will beat out Demon Slayer by 2028. Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump and Shogakukan's Weekly Shonen Sunday have been rivals since their inception in the late 1960s. Torishima and Shirai, the veteran editors noted above, were in fierce competition during the 1970s and 80s as the magazines were first making their name in Japan. Weekly Shonen Jump eventually overtook Weekly Shonen Sunday and its other competitors in popularity, becoming Japan's best-selling manga magazine of all time, serializing many of Japan's most well-known series, including One Piece, Dragon Ball, and of course, Demon Slayer. In contrast, Weekly Shonen Sunday has faced fairly steadily declining numbers since 2007. Nonetheless, it still holds several notable titles, including Call of the Night, Komi Can't Communicate, Detective Conan, and Frieren. The magazine also remains a household title among manga fans and is among the top 10 most popular manga magazines. Although it was vastly outsold by Weekly Shonen Jump in the last periodic circulation, given the numbers and history of both magazines, Oshima's claim that Frieren will surpass Demon Slayer may be wishful thinking. Frieren has been one of the most popular manga series of 2023, especially since the premiere of Madhouse's anime adaptation. In late September, quickly receiving acclaim for its animation quality and intricate plotline. Both Demon Slayer and Frieren are historical adventure fantasies that quickly gained popularity in Japan and became international hits after receiving an anime adaptation. However, the same can be said for the likes of One Piece, Naruto, Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, and numerous other series. Oshima using Demon Slayer as the baseline for success rather than the others is a testament to Demon Slayer's spot as not only a modern classic, but as one of the most financially successful franchises of all time. In the interview with Torishima and Shirai, both editors also referenced Demon Slayer several times, continuing to emphasize just how rare the success of a series like that is. Shirai stated that Oshima claiming that Frieren could overtake it meant the editor must have a competitive spirit. Comparing the two titles, Demon Slayer consists of 23 volumes and has over 150 million copies in circulation, making it the 9th best-selling manga series of all time. Frieren has 12 published volumes thus far and just over 17 million copies in circulation. Beyond manga sales, Frieren to overtake Demon Slayer, it would have to gross over $8 billion as a media franchise. This means the former would likely have to produce a film that rivals Demon Slayer the movie Mugen Train, currently the highest grossing Japanese and anime film in history, and the highest grossing film globally of 2020. Moreover, to surpass Demon Slayer in popularity beyond the enormous fan base and numerous accolades, Frieren would also technically need a themed airline, an attraction at Universal Studios, and a protagonist whom Japanese children admire more than their own parents. Oshima gave this claim a 5-year timeline, so it's entirely possible that within 5 years, all of the above goals could be achieved. Given how much Demon Slayer's popularity spiked after the premiere of Ufotable's anime adaptation in 2018, the next 10 months will offer significant insight into future projections of Frieren's success. And then they go into where they're streaming. So this is really, really interesting. Now, I love Frieren. I think it's better than Demon Slayer, but I disagree. I think Demon Slayer is a one-of-a-kind show. Demon Slayer is something that reached like Jujutsu, not Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia levels of hype and fan base. I don't think that just any show can do that. I think that you have to be a certain type of show. I think there's a reason why. If you look at, for Hollywood example, if you look at Hollywood, for example, the highest grossing films of all time are $2 billion films. And all of those $1 billion films are action films, except for one. One is Titanic, which is my favorite film of all time. But that's not an action film. The rest are, comic book movies or the 2 Avatar films, which all are action fantasy movies. And then you have Titanic. And Titanic is an outlier there. And Frieren could maybe be the outlier here. But as you can see throughout the rest of those, there is a consistent trend of them being a certain type of movie. Likewise, these anime that have connected so much and just completely transcended just the typical anime fan base and typical anime popularity, I don't know if Frieren is cut out for that. I think that Frieren is one of the best anime maybe that I've ever seen, but especially recently. And I don't know if that's the show that'll resonate with so many people on that level. Frieren is a slow show. It is a very emotional show. It is a very talky show. There's not much action in it. It's very emotional. I don't know if this is a show that is going to hit the broadest amount of people. I think when you're trying to reach the broadest amount of people, I think you have to try to immerse them and try to entertain them as much as possible. So that way they're interested, and so that way they bring other people to go along with them. I don't think that... Did my TV turn off? Hold up. There we go. Y'all didn't tell me. I think that there is a certain type of show that needs to do it. So is it, like they're saying, is it possible for Frieren to do this? Yes. Do I think it is likely? No. But it will be interesting to see how this goes in the next 5 years and see if they're right about that. But anyways, guys, what do you guys think about this? Do you think Frieren could potentially become more popular than Demon Slayer in the next 5 years? Let me know what your thoughts are. A few episodes back, we talked about how HIDIVE is ending its service in a few countries, but remaining in larger countries like the US and others. But when this happened, it became clear to everyone. I mean, we could kind of tell, but it became clear at that point where you couldn't deny how bad of a state that HIDIVE was actually in. And the trend continues because... This is a funny story. Because they found something that can help them fight this streaming war battle against Crunchyroll and Netflix, and that is uncensored anime, baby. Okay, so listen to this. So HIDIVE Winter 2024 anime lineup to include uncensored simulcasts. This is insane. Popular anime streaming service HIDIVE has announced its Winter 2024 lineup, which includes uncensored simulcasts of some highly anticipated upcoming series, such as Chained Soldier, beginning in January. HIDIVE's latest announcement on December 29, 2023, revealed that 3 new anime simulcasts will take place on the platform alongside Ragna Crimson's second core. The much anticipated Dangers in My Heart Season 2 is joined by Chained Soldier, What Is This? Gushing Over Magical Girls, with the latter two both simulcasts in their uncensored versions. Chained Soldier premieres on January 4th, 2024 at 10 a.m. EST, and Gushing Over Magical Girls premieres on January 3rd, 2024 at 11 a.m. HIDIVE says Gushing Over Magical Girls, over magical changes will feature differences to the audio, but not the visuals. Ragna Crimson's second core starts on January 13th at 2024 at 11 a.m. And then yada, 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 yada. Okay. And then they keep talking about this. Okay, so this is funny. This should probably be in the Goofy Woofy anime community, but this is like an actual business tactic they're doing, and it's not a bad one. People love to watch uncensored anime. Look, here's a fact of life, okay? People love anime women, okay? That's just a fact of life. And if there's an anime woman who is being censored in the main release of the show, but then you can find that, more, you can find the true release over on, HAnime websites. We'll keep it clean here on HAnime websites. Then people are going to go to those HAnime websites to get the full experience. Okay. We've all done it. But having HIDIVE, a official anime streaming service, competing against Crunchyroll and Netflix, now officially streaming more legally, because you can, it's one of those distributors, those true distributors, legally distributing these uncensored anime. They're playing hardball. You know what? I gotta applaud them for that. It's a good business tactic. I don't know how much this will help overall, but I mean, it couldn't hurt. You know what I mean? We got to look at this from the business perspective, guys. With that being said, not much to say. What are your thoughts on this one? The final story we're going to discuss is this. So the 2023 anime season is over, and with that, we now know what the biggest and most popular shows of the year with data, or something like that. This comes to us from Twitter, and MyAnimeList has released what their most popular new shows were. So these are excluding sequels. And so at number 1, we have Frieren Beyond Journey's End, and look at that score, dude. Insane. At number 2, we have The Apothecary Diaries. At number 3, we have Oshinoko, which I'm surprised The Apothecary Diaries is above Oshinoko. Is this by score? Or is this highest rated shows, or is this most popular shows? I think this is highest rated shows, actually. Never mind. Because I was like, Oshinoko should be above everything else, just in terms of how popular that show was. But then we have The Dangers in My Heart at number 4, Heavenly Delusion at number 5, Buddy Daddies at number 6, Hell's Paradise at number 7, Skip and Loafer at number 8, Insomniacs After School at number 9, and My Boss is Goofy at number 10. So these are all of the either new shows, first seasons, or original shows of 2023 that had the highest reviews. Not sequel anime. So, when Frieren Season 2 comes out, when Oshinoko Season 2 comes out, this year when Dangers in My Heart Season 2 comes out, we won't see, the sequels to these on this next year. We'll only see the new shows. So out of the new shows, these are your highest rated shows on MyAnimeList, which I can't say I'm all too surprised by. I think most of us kind of knew that these 5 up here were probably the most popular new shows of the year, just based on the talk that was around them. But that being said, guys, what are your thoughts on MyAnimeList's top 10 highest rated anime of original and new anime of 2023? All right, guys, it's time to take a look at the fall 2023 audience rankings, the weekly rankings, I mean. I believe on Sunday, on this next Sunday episode, that the overall fall 2023 rankings will have released, so we'll be able to talk about those then. And then, of course, the winter 2024 weekly rankings will start probably within the next couple weeks, and we'll have those to cover too. But starting out here with the anime trending rankings, starting out at number 1, is The Apothecary Diaries. And once again, these are the weekly rankings. This was just the finale. This is not overall. So The Apothecary Diaries has spent 2 weeks at number 1. It finished really strong. Frieren Beyond Journey's End goes up and finishes at number 2. Spy X Family Season 2 goes down 1 spot and finishes at number 3. Moving on to the next part. Hold on. The Evanescent Shadow has spent 2 weeks at number 4. 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You has spent 2 weeks at number 5. Dr. Stone New World Part 2 went up 4 spots to number 6. Undead Unluck went up 1 spot to number 7. The Rising of Shield Hero Season 3 went down 1 spot to number 8. Shangri-La Frontier is a re-entry into the top 10 at number 9. And Goblin Slayer Season 2 is goes down 4 spots to number 10. And as it says at the bottom, the fall 2023 anime awards winners will be presented on January 7th. So we'll get those, overall, what, the most watched shows were, what the most, the highest rated shows, those types of things we'll get there. And then after that, I believe on January 9th, Anime Trending will have the data it needs to begin their voting process for their anime awards. And so the voting polls open actually on January 9th, but we'll talk more about that on Sunday. Moving over to the Anime Corner rankings. At number 1, we have The Eminence in Shadow Season 2, which is at the same rank, and that got 8.09% of the vote. At number 2, we have Frieren Beyond Journey's End, which is at the same rank, and that got 6.8% of the vote. At the same rank, at number 3, is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, and that got 6.20% of the vote. At number 4, we have The Apothecary Diaries, which went up 1 spot from rank 5, and that got 6.18% of the vote. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You, they said the 100 Girlfriends Who Really times 5 love you, went up 2 spots from rank 7 to rank 5, and that got 4.28% of the vote. Ragnar Crimson went down 2 spots from rank 4 to rank 6, and that got 3.58% of the vote. The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Apprentice went up 2 spots from rank 9 to rank 7, and that got 3.44% of the vote. Dr. Stone New World Part 2 went up 3 spots from rank 11 to rank 8, and that got 2.95% of the vote. Dead Mountain Death Play Part 2 went up 11 spots from rank 20 to rank 9, and that got 2.95% of the vote. And Dark Gathering rounds out the final week of the top 10 in the Anime Corner, going up 9 spots from rank 19 to rank 10, and that got 2.90% of the vote. And guys, that's doing it for the weekly audience rankings for the fall 2023 anime season, and we'll get the official rankings, I believe, like I said, on Sunday. But moving over, it is now time to take your comments and questions from the last episode, or actually, it's the last 2 episodes because I had something happen on Sunday that I had to take care of this week. If you would like to get your comment or question on the next episode of the Otaku Experience and have me respond to it, just hop into the comments section down below and leave your thoughts on literally whatever you want to talk about. But starting out here, this is from the episode 2 weeks ago. We have from Eli Craig. Now that The Boy and the Heron is out, what is your favorite Studio Ghibli movie? Here's my personal ranking. I'll just read the top 5. I'm not gonna. We can all see them, and you guys can pause if you want to read them all. But I'll just read the top 5 as to not, So number 1, The Wind Rises. At number 2, Spirited Away. At number 3, The Boy and the Heron. At number 4, Princess Mononoke. And at number 6, The Tale of Princess Kaguya. So my favorite Studio Ghibli movies, I have 2. I still haven't seen a whole bunch, so I can't do the whole list like you have. I've seen less than half of those. I'll just say that. I didn't really grow up watching the Ghibli films. It's something I've had to discover more recently. And so my 2 favorite Ghibli films right now, they're about tied, is The Boy and the Heron and Howl's Moving Castle. Underneath that, Spirited Away. And then that's probably it. I haven't really mapped them all out in my head. I just know that those 2 are my favorite, and then it's probably Spirited Away after that, but I'm not too sure. But nice ranking, and let Eli Craig know what your ranking is, guys. Over here we have from SD Questioning, Solo Leveling has better writing than SAO 100%. And you're one of the people who's tormenting me about this, and you're one of the people who's making me not want to watch it, all right? You're one of the people that's making me want to, commit genocide on an anime. Not on the fan base, on the anime. I just want to eradicate it from existence. Because every time I talk about Sword Art Online and Solo Leveling, someone's like, oh my god, Solo Leveling is like Sword Art Online, but better. Okay, I don't care. Leave me alone. I don't want to watch it. This is your fault. Then we have Thor Loki. Thanks for the comment, by the way. Then we have Thor Loki 1, who says, I love your MO. I have no idea what we're talking about, but thanks for the comment. I'm sorry, I have no idea what we're talking about here. Then we go to the comments from the last episode. And first we have from Gara Khan. Nice picks, but my man, you cannot cover everything. Just watch what you want to watch, because as viewers, we know no sane human can cover everything. So we actually have a selected go-to reviewers that we know watches certain genres of anime, like sports, drama, comedies, and such. And with this channel, we are still figuring out what anime vibes with you. Great video. Verbally smooth, keep it up. Well, that's fair. I think if you watch my main channel, which to be fair, I uploaded 2 videos last year. Working on it, guys. If you watch my main channel, I talk more about the anime that I watch. This show, I'm mainly covering the state of the anime industry, what I'm excited for, what the community's saying about what's currently going on. But if you want to know my personal thoughts on a lot of the stuff, you can watch my main channel. But no, you're absolutely right. I know I can't cover everything, but it's not that I can't cover everything. It's that this last year I covered like probably 12% of what I've been able to cover before. Like I watched probably 20 shows this year, like attempted to watch like 20 shows this year, whereas I've attempted to watch like 60 shows before, and maybe finish not all of them, but I at least started them just to see what they were on about, and I didn't do that this last year, so I want to try to get back to that again, where I'm watching more anime. And the last comment we have is from Yo Tej, and says, "That's a dope hoodie." You're talking about my invisible hoodie. That was the hoodie I wore in the last episode. That was a Christmas present from my grandma, and so I appreciate it. I love the hoodie too. It's great. And guys, that'll do it for this Thursday episode of the Otaku Experience, the first episode of the new year, the first episode of what I'm calling season 2 of the Otaku Experience. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And hey, if you want to keep up with me outside of this show, you can subscribe to me on my main YouTube channel, Kingtanic, where I'm actually going to do stuff this year where I also make anime content, but in a less serious and professional way. You can also follow me on Instagram at Kingtanic. You can follow me on Twitter at Kingtanic Israel. And if you're new to the Burnettwork, consider sticking around. We have great shows for you to watch every single day, including but not limited to Rob Observations, Ladies at the PGS, Midnight Musings, K-Pasa PGS, Architects of Imagination, Let's Get Physical Media, of course, the Otaku Experience, and I'm sure many new shows as the year progresses. I know that Rob has big plans for the channel for this year. And with that being said, guys, this episode comes to a close. Happy New Year, and I will see you all next time.